going to boot camp in 2017, it was an interesting experience to say the least. It was definitely one of the first times I had got quote unquote hit, and I couldn't do anything about it. But it is what it is. That was my first introduction to my drill instructors after the first week, which usually the first week is the week where you do like not your pills, but your medication. I guess you can say pills depending on who you are. You get your paperwork done, all those type of things. But after that, I will say that my experience in boot camp itself was pretty weird. It was a time where coming out of high school, it just felt like I was becoming a different person, right? When you go to Marine Corps boot camp, it molded me into a grown man, even though I was still like a teenager, right? And it was cool just knowing that camaraderie was there. You and your other platoon members all in boot camp, 1014, screaming off your platoon number, running up and down the stairs. I don't think you can do that anymore. And that's what I wanted to get to. When I was in boot camp, it was pretty much a transition phase to what we see today, right? So when I was there, I was one of the first classes to get, or I guess you could say companies. We were the first companies to deal with the fact of not being able to run anymore. I believe when it got to second phase, we couldn't run. And we thought maybe that was just a thing because, we hit second phase, I guess we don't have to run anywhere. Oh no, some stuff happened apparently. A lot of people were getting injured, so the commandant of the, Paris Island, whatever, he basically said, no more running. Fast walk, fast pace to get to where you need to get to, and that's it. So that was already an introduction. Now, when I got there, we didn't graduate with any female Marines. We weren't that close to what we see now. That happened more 2019. Some of my friends and people that were in my unit, they got to experience that, not me. But I have seen a lot of people say, boot camp has gotten woke as far as the Army is concerned and the Air Force. And I don't really like using that word. The word itself doesn't really make too much sense. But for the purpose of this video, let's go with that. Now, again, we did our McMap. We got yelled at. It is what it is. We had to take our mattresses and put them in the shower, get them wet, and then put them back on our racks. We went to the other platoon's rooms. We would take we would take their stuff. It was actually kind of funny. Once we got to like second, third phase, we would go in their rooms and take their stuff and bring it back to ours. And we would like get in a fight and everything. I don't want to say too much because I feel like you should experience it. But especially me being a track runner, I like running. I was always, it felt good having your glow belt. The way we positioned, he was like a first, I forgot what it's even called, first class, that's what it's called. If you was a first class PFT holder, then you got to go in the very front of everybody. I was running my 19-minute 3 miles. I was already doing like 19 pull-ups. I do like 25 now, but at the time I was doing like 18, 19, which was pretty good back then because I didn't even do pull-ups. Crunches, we didn't do planks yet, but the experience overall was pretty good. I did cry like 4 times, but the thing I want to talk about is where did that go, right? People are always talking about, even the Marine Corps has gotten woke because we're training with females, right? Here's the thing that I want to say. Is that true? Yes. But the thing is, it makes perfect sense, right? So let's give you the scenario. You go to a school, whether it's predominantly white, predominantly black, depending on where you live at, right? So, and this is true, I'm gonna tell you why. So, you go to a school and you only hang around people of your kind, you're not gonna know how to associate with people of different cultures. And you'll notice that real quick. You might not care too much when you grow up in like a bubble. When you're young, you're in a bubble. But when you get older, when you hit your 20s, you start going to college and you start working at these professional companies, you're going to notice that you can't talk to people, or you can't associate the same way you can with people of your culture, right? Even if me being a black person, when I play soccer, the Kenyans and Nigerians, they don't act the same either. Even the black people from the UK, they don't act the same. So you can't just talk to them like they're your buddy across the street. You can't do that. And with that being said, integration has played a part into us being able to mesh with each other, even though we are from different cultures, right? So how do women come into this? Well, first of all, when you go to work, when you get to your unit, when you get to the fleet, you're gonna work with women. So it's not woke to know that you need to train by somebody that you're going to be working with for the next 4 to 8 years, depending on how long you do your contract, or heck, even 20 years if you want to go right out. I think it's 25 years now. I was also the last group to hit the 20-year mark, right when it hit January. If you got in boot camp January 2017, it hit 25. I got to boot camp December 2016. So I graduated 2017, but I didn't have to worry about that. So I'm 20 years, even though I'll be going to OCS soon. But yeah. So the thing is, when you talk about males train with females, we didn't do that back in 1975. You know what else they didn't do back in 1975? Okay then. You was probably thinking about something. I just want you to think about the people that were born back then. You was probably thinking of a lot of things that they didn't do back in the 70s and 80s that they do now. Here's the thing: time changes, right? When times change, people adapt, people evolve. Rules and regulations are fitting to what the standards are in today's time era, right? So because of that, it makes perfect sense for a male Marine to train with a female Marine. Now we can argue about the fact that, oh well, male Marines have to do 10 pull-ups and female Marines only have to do 2. A female Marine can't pick me up in combat. Now, I'm not going to get into that, but I will say I went to Intel school. I was in Damnac, Oceana, Virginia Beach, and oh man, she was one of the oldest Marines there. At the time, she was 27. And while at MOS school, that's old. We're all like 18, 19. She's 27. But I'm going to tell you this right now. She probably can't pick me up. You know, it is what it is. She probably can't. But when it came to that PFT, she hit 17 pull-ups. I'm not lying. She hit 17 pull-ups, and a lot of guys that I'm not going to say their names, they know who exactly they are. They couldn't even do 15. They couldn't do 14. They would and this girl did 17. And you would probably say, oh well, females are lighter, they're supposed to do that. Okay. We were all light at this time. We were all like 150, so that doesn't make any sense, you know. But you know, we can argue that because I know a lot of guys that couldn't even pick me up in the CFT. So that's why they say in the CFT, get with somebody your weight. Right now, obviously, if you work out, then that probably won't matter. Especially guys like me, you can squat 415 and more. That probably doesn't matter too much. But you guys that don't work out, by the way, the Marine Corps is not like you working out. That's just a fact. I can get into that. I can get more into that. But the Marine Corps wants you to be as skinny as possible. And I would definitely make a video on that if y'all want me to make a video on how the Marine Corps doesn't like you working out. They just like you running and doing plyos. So, but yeah, I don't think the Marine Corps is really woke. I just think the Marine Corps has finally adapted to common sense that you need to train with who you work with. And I'm going to just leave it at that. But with that being said, I'll see y'all later. Forward March TV out.